offense is going to be tough to stop for Virginia. They should be able to come out of there with a W. Georgia Tech should.
I agree. I think Georgia Tech's going to run all over Virginia. Our next game is Oregon at Washington. Oregon has had little trouble with the Pac-10 so far this season. In 3 conference games, the Ducks have outscored their opponents 118 to 19. Oregon has to play in Seattle though, where Washington has won its last 3. The Huskies' last win over Oregon was a 42 to 10 victory at home in 2003. Ryan, who do you see winning this one?
I think Washington's going to struggle with the Ducks D, and Oregon shouldn't have too many issues with Washington, so I think Oregon's going to come out on top.
John, do you agree?
Like before, I think this is going to be an easy game. Oregon's going to beat Washington, and pretty easy.
I think Oregon's going to win this game pretty handily. Washington's had a nice season so far, but I think Oregon's too good a team. Our next game is Miami versus Clemson. Miami returns to the ACC play for the first time in nearly a month when the Hurricanes host Clemson. The Tigers' defense is performing at a high level, ranking 11th in the country in total defense. In the team's last meeting in 2005, Miami defeated Clemson 36 to 30 in triple overtime. John, do you see another close game?
I think it'll be pretty close, but I think Miami's going to pull it out. I think they have a great offense and a very capable defense. So I think Miami's going to win this one.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think Miami's going to win this one. I think Clemson's D will slow them down, but not enough. Not enough for Clemson to get the W. Miami will take the win.
All I'm going to say is Ja'Cory Harris. I think he's the difference maker in this one. Our next game is LSU versus Auburn. LSU looks to get back on track after its first loss of the season when the Tigers host Auburn. LSU will need more from its offense, which is ranked 112th in the country. Auburn has had no issues with its offense, averaging 35 points per game. Ryan, do you see LSU pulling this one out?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think this one will be close, but Auburn's will keep them in it, but LSU's going to end up winning it.
John, what do you think?
Well, LSU's defense carried them the first few games, and their offense really hasn't done much, but I think their defense is going to keep them in the game, ultimately beating Auburn.
I think LSU's defense is too much, although I like what Auburn's done on the offensive side of the ball. This game being at LSU, I'm going to give them the edge. Our next matchup is TCU at BYU. Last season, TCU dealt BYU its first loss, knocking it out as a potential BCS buster. The Cougars will be looking to return the favor this year when the Horned Frogs travel to Provo. TCU, ranked 4th in total defense, faces a BYU squad ranked 6th in scoring. Ryan, what do you think about this game?
I think Hughes will lead the TCU's defense into Provo and slow down Max Hall, BYU's offense, just enough to win a very close game.
What do you think, John?
And take TCU as well. Their offense has been performing very well as their defense as of late. So I'm going to take TCU in this one.
I'm gonna go with my instinct on this one, and I'm gonna take BYU. I think their offense is gonna be good enough to handle TCU's defense. I just like Max Hall too much. I think they're gonna win this game. Our next game is Iowa at Michigan State. Iowa has never started a season with 8 consecutive wins, but the Hawkeyes are aiming to change that when they visit Michigan State. Despite early season defeats, the Spartans are in the thick of the Big Ten race with just 1 conference loss. The Hawkeyes lead the series 20-18, but have lost 4 straight in East Lansing. John, do you think the Hawks get a win here?
I do. I think they're going to turn around their fortune at East Lansing and win this game. They're going to start off 8-0. Michigan State no longer has Javon Ringer, the best runner. So I think that I was going to win this one.
What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I agree. I think the Hawkeye defense will slow down the Spartans, and Iowa shouldn't have too much trouble this year in East Lansing by at least 2 touchdowns.
I also think Iowa's going to win. I think Michigan State's defense has been feeding off some of the lower tier teams in the Big Ten. I don't think they're quite as good as they've been playing this last couple of weeks. I think Iowa wins. Our last game is Texas at Missouri. After taking care of our rival Oklahoma last week, Texas will attempt to avoid a letdown when it travels to Missouri. The Horns have their BCS destiny in their hands, but have 4 conference road games remaining in the regular season. The Tigers have dropped 2 straight since winning their first 4. Texas has won 5 straight over Missouri. John, do you see Texas dominance over Missouri continuing?
I do. I think Cole McCoy is going to have his first very good game this year, and he's going to lead a victory over Missouri, and I think he'll do it pretty easily.
What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I agree. I think Texas will keep their Big 12 championship hope and BCS championship hopes alive, and they should slow down Gabbard enough, win by a couple scores.
I agree. I think too much Texas in this game, although I think Missouri has the capability of keeping this one close, but I am going to pick Texas in this one. Well, let's see how we fared last week. John and myself went 12-6, while Ryan gained a game on us by going 13-5. Overall, we hope to do better this week. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next week.